Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Controversies of the Day with Logan
and Jay.
Well, debate! Oh, fight! Oh, was that fun? Or what? The first debate just happened in Milwaukee, folks. It was Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The first Republican debate. I don't know if there's going to be any Democrat debates, although who knows? We'll talk about that later. I mean, wow, that was fun. I got so much to say, Logan, but I'm going to zip it, and I want to see if, maybe you have some thoughts, winners, losers. I know you thought the production was a little overdone, should we say?
At the beginning, I've heard others say it seemed like an award show. It was a fanfare for what I don't know, because they sit there thinking that, oh, this is Republican, this song, everyone, No, you guys, you didn't talk about anything with the song actually probably meant. You didn't do that. You sat there and it was more of a mockery, because then you show that song that is probably the more true American message being set out right now. And then you have, six of them? 6 of these yahoos on stage, 8 of these yahoos who have no real connection to anything that song had to say, the people that wrote that song, anyone connected to that, they didn't know. And I'm pretty sure probably the majority of those people never even heard that song. That was probably the first time anyone's heard it.
And again, the artist is Oliver Anthony, and the song is Richmond, North of Richmond. Is that right? Okay. They surprised me. They surprised me they brought it up.
It just seemed very award show-like, very Academy-like, which, is fitting because it is a bunch of actors up on stage. Sitting there, standing there spewing nonsense. But no, as far as winners or losers, I don't think there were any real winners or any real losers. I think the biggest winner was Trump, and he wasn't even there. I think he was the one that walked away with the show, regardless of which way you look at it. I don't know why some are complaining why he wasn't there. There's no reason for him to be there. He's gonna get the nomination. He's gonna get it. There is gonna be nobody else. These guys are. That is a literal dog and pony show. That's all that is. It's to build up hype for what? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Why? And none of these guys have any kind of attributes that would be a good leader. I mean, the only ones I think up there that had any kind of chance would have been DeSantis and the Vivek, however you say his name, the skinny little Indian kid. So, which he came out more like Obama than anything. He used the same lines.
Oh, he did at the beginning. Yeah.
Christie
called him on. Yeah, he called him on that.
Again, is this an act, or are you actually trying to do something? I believe he's probably a plant just to take away votes. People think they're staying with MAGA country because they're going with this younger kid. First off, no time ever history. Tell me anyone comment, any other than a white man in the Republican Party, ever. No, it's not going to happen. This kid doesn't have a chance. If he was running for a Democrat, he would have won it. He would have won that first debate if he was running for a Democrat. That everything he had all the check boxes right there. Done.
Well, I got a lot of positive things to say, kids, and then we'll get dark and negative and critical. But because I'm a Gemini, that's what we do. And then he's a Libra, he helps balance me out. I need a lot of Libras in my life, okay? Anyway, it is Mercury retrograde, kids. So as they said at Hill Street Blues years ago, be careful out there. All right, that's the public service announcement. That's what you get. The first debate, my friend. Well, first of all, I really loved it. To me, I don't want to be, I'm not being like, oh, what's the word, Pollyannish or all overly liberal. I want to say they're almost all winners, because I love they all went out there and they just went after each other. They went for it. I was so glad. Don't waste our time. You've got a front runner who's, like you said, so far ahead of everybody. So don't waste our time. And they didn't. They went right at it. They didn't even let Doug Burgum really get his intro, or Tim Scott. I think they already were starting to get into it right away. I like some of the production. I'm glad they mentioned Oliver Anthony. They didn't mention the line about, and your dollar is SHIT, because that was very, very important in his song for all of us, okay? The value of the dollar, inflation, the failure of our Federal Reserve. And Professor Scott Galloway, what are you thinking, giving Jerome Powell some credit lately? But anyway, I don't want to digress too much. So let's get back to what's at hand. Oh, I'm sorry. If you don't think they were winners, I think Vivek Mofo Ramaswamy. Whoa! I think he was totally the winner of the night. He got everybody talking about him. Everybody's Googling the guy. Now, is it a flash in the pan? I don't know. Could be. He could be, just what do you want to say? A very charismatic, charlatan, charismatic con man, and it may just be a little flash in the pan, a little moment. Something lets me know though that Vivek, he's a young dude. He's a millennial. I think he's got a future ahead of him. I don't know if it's this campaign or he'll parlay this notoriety from this campaign to maybe a Senate race somewhere down the road or a congressional race, something like that. I don't think we've heard the last of Vivek at all. He hasn't dropped out here, kid. So who knows? Maybe he'll get the nomination. I don't know. But man, oh man, I think there were a lot of things happening there. And one of the things you and I talked about off camera was, why are some of these people even there? Why are some of these people even running? And I think pretty quick it became obvious to me that at least 3 or 4 of them are running for the evangelical, or we want to say religious conservative vote out there. And especially Mike Pence, who would not shut up. What did you think of Mike Pence?
A waste of time. I mean, who's going to vote for this man? He was, can you even have a lame duck vice president? I mean, that's kind of what he was. You'd never heard of this man any time during the Trump presidency. Now, granted, Trump, he didn't hear much of anything other than Trump for 4 years, but you hear nothing about Pence. You really didn't. Just like, I guess you don't hear much about Kamala Harris, so he didn't do much. He nothing noteworthy other than anything revolving around January 6th, which, this just kind of popped in my head now. I don't know really what kind of real ramifications that he had. I just don't see his name being dragged into dirt as much as all the other Republicans, which to me, or anyone who helped Trump, is just dragged through the dirt. Well, this guy was his VP. I mean, technically, he'd be the closest guy to him. I mean, why is he not getting dragged through the dirt? Why is not the same type of hostility being sent towards him? I mean, he backed the man for 4 years. He ran with him. Being that, if you're agreeing to run with somebody, you must at least 90% agree on everything he has to say.
I mean, he may be if some of these, with Trump, it's indictment here, indictment there, indictment everywhere. It's like a Dr. Seuss thing. He may get pulled in, at some point.
I know.
We'll see.
I think he did like testimony for the January 6th stuff.
I think so.
In any case. The man shouldn't be on stage. He's an old white guy. Come on, I thought we didn't like old white men. Why are we putting him back up on stage and the guy again a lame duck vice president?
There was a couple of them.
Well, let's start at the beginning. The people who didn't matter. All right, Hutchinson.
Oh my God.
Who the hell is this guy?
Oh my God. Well, yeah, they know him in Washington D.C. They know him in Arkansas. But you're right. The rest of the country doesn't really know this guy, and we don't care. And then he talked about he was part of the DEA. I think he was even a senator from Arkansas one time. He was or is a governor. Oh my God.
He looked worse than Biden.
Yeah, he looked worse than Biden. They're like, what are you doing, man? So if somebody needs to go for sure, it needs to be Asa. Okay, and I don't know if Asa and Mike Pence. I got a little sympathy for Doug. I don't think the guy really, Doug Burgum, the North Dakota governor. I don't think he got a real chance to really present himself. And I think he's a decent and interesting candidate.
Small business guy, an entrepreneur. He does well for North Dakota. That's fine. That's great. You're not a president. You're not on the same caliber of even DeSantis or Vivek as far as even meeting the standards of Trump. So, again, another wasted space on stage. You just didn't need. I'm not trying to shit on the guy, but no one knows who the hell you are, man.
And Tim Scott, I want to like the guy, Senator of South Carolina. I want to like the guy. It's nice to see some diversity there, just as a superficial thing. Or those of you that are into identitarian politics, and it was good to see that overall. That it's not just an old white guy party anymore. I don't know if he has anything really fresh or exciting to say. He seemed like he had a little trouble. Getting comfortable up there, as DeSantis too was a little uncomfortable a few times. So we'll see what Tim Scott out. Is he just running for vice president? It seems like some of these people may be just running for vice president.
Yeah, that are book deals.
Book deals, speaking engagements, just to have their name out there on the resume. One-time presidential, now Christie, at least 2-time presidential candidate. And Christie, I just cannot stand the guy. I'll give him credit though. his exchanges with Vivek were good. They were fun. They were good.
These guys are bringing millions in during their campaign. They had professional people setting them up, telling them what to say, how to react. Again, even DeSantis. As much as I think the guy's a great governor, you're the best governor we've ever heard of in the decades, right? You're not president yet. Florida's not fixed. Stay in Florida. Stop trying to stretch yourself out. Because in people of Florida, you need to understand, once he leaves Florida, whoever takes over for him, are they going to do a good enough job? And once DeSantis were to get into the White House, is he still going to give a shit about Florida as much as he does now that he will then? I don't think so. I think you guys should be happy with who you have. And DeSantis, I think you should stay. You should let this drama with Trump kind of fizzle out before you try to throw your hat in the ring. I still don't trust you, though. You're a politician, and you're getting money from someone, so someone's getting a handshake somewhere. In any case, I don't think he should be running. I think he should stay in his governor's.
Well, I know some people in Florida, and a lot of them are actually saying that. so you're not alone, and definitely citizens there they do like him as a governor for the most part, and he's very popular. There were some people who ripped on him afterwards. They said, DeSantis fades. I'm like,
After the fact, but do you know no one attacked him at all during the debate?
Not
one person. Not one. Maybe Vivek had made a little poke at him,
but yeah.
No one attacked him. They all went, and they didn't really even go after Trump that much, and they really didn't go after Biden. Their main crosshairs were set on Vivek, the young kid, the young goofy-looking Indian brown kid. God, such an Obama line. I hate that.
Yeah, he did steal that Obama line, and Christie checked him right away. What am I doing with Chat GPT over here?
Even that would have scripted a little comment. Like, he was just waiting to use that. His handlers in the background. Do it, because he said something that might. That kid was running late. He's like a Ben Shapiro. He just he was quick. Witty.
Oh God, he was very quick.
He was on top of it. He was loving it, and that's what made him different from everybody else.
Yeah.
I think if there was gonna be a winner, he was the winner.
Okay. I agree with you, and I think he did well.
He wanted to be there. He
Yep.
was enjoying himself. These other guys were playing a game.
Exactly.
He was just there.
Yeah.
He was ecstatic. He was like a fanboy, right? He loved being there.
And I thought it was a little funny. I don't know if I already said this. I'm gonna repeat myself, but so he's a millennial, and some of them are Xers, some of them are Boomers, and I'm not sure with the oldest two guys if they're the silent generation. I'm not sure, but anyway, let's just say it was Boomers, a couple Xers, and him, who a millennial. And I felt there was this little generational jab, you don't want to send in a rookie and this and that, and you don't have foreign policy experience, and it shows. Nikki gave him that zinger. They gave each other some really nice zingers. I as a theater, folks, this is political theater. Is any of this going to move the needle? Is any of this going to change anything? I really don't know. Obviously, Donald Trump has got a base, and obviously there's a lot for somebody to cut through, to get through. To be a real contender to that. I think anything's possible, though, by the way. I just want to remind everybody, Republican politics are a little different than Democrat, but if you look at the Democrat side, just think, a lot of guys. Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter, Barack Obama, a lot of people came out of nowhere, were not very known outside their own home state, and boom, they got their nomination, and someone won the presidency. So, you never know what's going to happen here. Will another Republican who's not running show up? And I do want to say I'm very disappointed in the RNC, and very disappointed in, I don't know if it's the Young Republicans who sponsored this in Milwaukee, and even Fox, that Larry Elder was not in there. Ladies and gentlemen, Larry Elder, if you're not familiar with him, he just ran in the California recall election against Gavin Newsom, unsuccessful. He's a radio talk show host. I think he's a lawyer by trade. Larry would have gotten, I don't know if he would have stole all of Vivek's thunder, but he would have got a little bit of that outsider kind of a thing. It would have been really nice to watch. And do people really know Asa Hutchinson and Doug Burgum? I like Doug. On a national level, as well as they know Larry Elder, who's had a nationally syndicated radio show. I just find that a little hard to believe. I don't like the race card. I don't like to say the race card, but it is a little funny, and I think it was very wrong. Larry Elder should have been there. Maybe Mayor Suarez, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, from Miami. Maybe he could have been there too. There was another guy, a businessman, I think Mr. Johnson from Michigan. If I got his name wrong, I apologize. I think everybody should have been on stage. But
I think it was enough of a circus.
yeah,
I mean, as far as Hutchinson and Burgum, I didn't know who these guys were until I saw the lineup a couple days before. I had to Google. I didn't know who these guys were. I know who Tim Scott was. I've heard of him many times. Obviously Larry Elder, but yeah, I think they could have done better. They could have replaced those two, or at least got rid of Hutchinson and Burgum, because again, no names. I mean, I understand that. You guys are getting like 1 or 2% of the polls. Like, why would you even walk out of your house with 1 or 2%?
well,
Again, book deals or
yeah,
whatever the hell
right,
have you. I get
right,
it, cabinet
right,
spot maybe,
right.
but nonetheless, like you guys just.
and for some of the old guys, it's definitely the last hurrah. Definitely for Mike Pence, and definitely for this Asa Hutchinson, whatever. Yeah, this is the last hurrah. These guys are getting up there. So, well, I'll just run for president. Well, this be in my resume. I think that's what it is. Ron DeSantis, I think, has got the whole future ahead of him. I agree with you. Even if he bows out of this race at some point, I mean, he's young in the political terms, and he can run again. A lot of people said he did bad. I don't think he did bad. I don't think he didn't do great. I admit that. So maybe his expectations for Governor DeSantis were high, and he didn't fulfill those things. Obviously, Vivek he just shined. It was his night. Mr. Ramaswamy, you did good, bud. I think Nikki Haley did good. I think she showed herself to be in there. She wasn't afraid. She was engaging with everybody. She's a very smart lady. That's not an endorsement. I just want to be very clear with everybody. It's not an endorsement. I am watching her like a hawk, okay? I have this gut feeling, this, but I don't know if I've expressed with the audience. I think Nikki Haley is going somewhere. And I'm just saying, if you put gun to head, man, gun to head, Nikki Haley will be a future, and again, I don't know this time, but she'll be a future president and or vice president and or possibly secretary of state. I would put money on that. It's somewhere in our country's future.
I hope not, because she showed her true. I never really paid attention to her. I've heard talking heads bring her name up here and there. Maybe a couple sound bites, but the whole thing about Ukraine, the money, and when Vivek was talking about bringing the money back to our country, fixing our problems.
I like that.
She says, "Well, why can't we do both? We can do both." No, we haven't. Decades, a century of us going back and forth. Oh, we can do this. Oh, we can do that. We're gonna do both sides. Everyone's happy. It hasn't happened. So, what are you doing? Why are you Why do you want to send the money to Ukraine? It's a war. We're fighting a proxy war, and you have no problem doing that. I don't know if she has kids, but I think
she does.
From this day forward, any time a politician decides we're going to go to war with another country or a proxy war like they're doing now, you send your kids first.
Right.
If you aren't going to send your kids first, we shouldn't be sending people over there. This is insane. I'm more shocked. Again, I didn't watch the last half hour of it because life happens, but I don't know if they talked anymore about the Ukraine and this, because I know Tucker cornered Pence on it.
Yeah, that was nice a couple weeks ago, a few weeks back.
Messed up Pence.
And Pence did the same thing. Well, we can do both. We can do both. Okay, so Mike Pence and his people that like him, Nikki Haley, people that like her, people that like Christie, people that like Asa Hutchinson. The decades have shown you can't do both. And I'm telling you, Logan, I mean, again, I'm real down on Democrats these days. I remember Democrats decades ago, we talked about, why aren't they fixing this here? Why aren't they fixing this in America? So, again, America first is not a bad thing. What's wrong with you people? We have our messes here. We need to clean this up. The academics, well, then you're an isolationist. Then you're xenophobic. You want to live in your own little world, your little. Okay, the world is never going to be isolationist again. The question is. This is the real question. How interdependent, in other words, do you want to be with the rest of the world? The rest of the world bringing you down, making you weak because you're too interdependent with them, and we are. And I'm glad the China thing came up by a lot of them too. People need to think about that because we are. We are way too deep in bed with China. I think a lot of people don't even know that. They don't even know that. Well, Logan, we've been going long here, bud. Again, September 27th, ladies and gentlemen, is the rematch.
First,
right, go ahead.
Before we finish. If you had to pick now, out of everyone who's on stage, who would be president? If you had to pick one of them, who's president? Who you vote for?
That's tough. I guess I would have to say, okay, because I'm a Gemini, I'm going to answer this both ways, okay? Vivek, I would vote for Vivek. I guess I would be thinking Vivek DeSantis is what I would be thinking. Now, that's who I would want to win. of who ran. But then, hold on, because everyone needs to get this two-tiered thing in your head. There's two things going on. What you believe in, your passion, your ideals, great. Let everybody know. Let's have that debate. Let's talk, blah, blah, blah. But then, you gotta have that other level. What's the probable thing? Gun to head, had to bet the house. What's probably gonna happen? And then, is there any way you can live your life around that, to get defensive, to try to make money off it, etc.? So I'm going to answer you. I would vote for Vivek, okay, and it would be between DeSantis and Vivek for me, okay, Ron DeSantis. But to put money in the house, put the house down, put gun to head. I'm saying, watch out for Nikki Haley, dude. Watch out for Nikki. Watch out for Nimarata.
She's not.
We will be talking about Nimarata. You're gonna see, buddy. You're gonna see. Again, I don't know if it's this cycle, but I will tell you, I may put money. I may go on those Vegas betting sites. Not telling anybody else to do that. But just saying, I see her as maybe a president, maybe a VP, definitely Secretary of State.
Remember what party we're talking about.
I know.
Unless she comes out and identifies herself as a man, it's not happening. She's not going to get it.
What I would want my friend Logan and all of you to watch, if you've not seen it recently, Nikki has an exchange with George Stephanopoulos, and it's almost enough for you and I to have our own little show about sometime. Just recently it happened the other day, and we'll tease that. We need to talk about that, because that's a multi-layered thing. It was a very good thing, and she's almost just telling him straight out, Biden's not going to be around. And I don't know if she meant the rest of this term, or she meant if he did, weekend at Bernie's all the way to the next election, and if he was lucky enough to win by hook or by crook, there's no way I think was what she was trying to say. There's no way he's going to finish that second term. And so then you got Kamala Harris, and maybe that's why Nikki's running. Maybe she knows it could be a woman-to-woman matchup, and we could change history here and have the first woman president. I think it's extremely probable, ladies and gentlemen, we may have an acting woman president here in the very near future.
What if Trump or if Biden?
If Biden steps down. He steps down. He's falling asleep at things. He's saying just goofy ass things about his kitchen fires when people lost their homes, lost their businesses. I mean, this guy is a disgrace. Newsom and the money people and Pritzker, they're all, and I wonder about Michelle, my belle. Yeah. They're all looking at this situation here, trying to figure it out. What are we going to do if this happens? They got to have this contingency. This. It's going to get very interesting, folks. The fun, Logan, has only just begun. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back again. Have yourselves a great night and a better tomorrow.